The screening revolution is here, and it has the potential to change everything for struggling readers. No more years of wait and see. No more parents becoming special education experts just to get basic help. But laws alone don't change outcomes. Informed parents do. I'm Jenny Sherson, ex-special educator turned dyslexia interventionist. It wasn't so long ago that I, too, was overwhelmed by balanced literacy versus structured literacy, education speak, and everything in between. Fast forward after many, many hours of self-driven education, and you'll see I've built a thriving dyslexia practice helping students from age 6 to 18. My specialties? Working with the quote-unquote difficult, almost always 2E, student, and breaking down the complexities of dyslexia into everyday language strategies and action steps. If your child started kindergarten this year, or if you have younger children coming up, you might be living through the biggest change in dyslexia identification in decades. Today, we're talking about something that could fundamentally change the trajectory for millions of struggling readers: universal dyslexia screening laws that are finally sweeping across the United States. For years, I've watched parents fight exhausting battles just to get their child evaluated. But here's the game changer. New state laws are shifting that burden from parents to schools. And if you're a parent of a struggling reader, this revolution needs to be on your radar. So here's what's changing. Right now, across the United States, we're seeing a wave of legislation requiring schools to screen all young students for dyslexia risk. Not just the kids whose parents know how to advocate, but every single child in the kindergarten through second grade. California just announced in December 2024 that starting this school year, 2025 to 2026, they'll screen 1.2 million kids annually. And they were actually one of the last states to jump on board. States like Texas, Georgia, and Mississippi have been requiring kindergarten screening since 2024. Michigan starts in 2027. Washington's been doing it since 2021. Now, let me be really clear about something. Screening is not the same as an evaluation or diagnosis. Think of it like a vision test at your pediatrician's office. It's a quick check to see if there might be a problem that needs a closer look. The screening itself just takes 3 to 5 minutes per child and looks at specific skills we know predict reading difficulties. Things like phonological awareness, rapid naming, letter knowledge, and verbal working memory. Here's why this matters so much. For the first time, the responsibility for identifying at-risk readers is shifting from parents to schools. Think about how it used to work, and honestly, still works in many places. You notice your child struggling. You mention it to the teacher who says, well, let's just wait and see. You spend months worrying, collecting work samples, maybe hiring some help. And by the time your child finally gets the help they actually need, if they get help, they're already years behind in dealing with some serious confidence issues. With universal screening, that waiting game ends. Every child gets checked automatically, regardless of whether their parent knows about dyslexia or can afford an advocate. And here's the research that makes this so critical. We can accurately identify children at risk for dyslexia as young as 5.5. Studies from Yale, Harvard, and Stanford shown that certain skill deficits are clear predictors of dyslexia in children as young as age 3. So why does early identification matter? Because it takes 4 times as long to intervene in 4th grade as it does in late kindergarten. The window of brain plasticity is widest when children are youngest. Early intervention during those critical years can literally change a child's entire academic trajectory. Okay, now I need to give you the reality check because not all screening laws are created equal, and implementation is messy. As of now, over 40 states have some form of dyslexia legislation. But here's the thing, the strength varies widely. Strong laws like Texas, Mississippi, and Georgia require universal screening, specify which screening tools to use, and outline what interventions must be provided if a child screens at risk. Weaker laws might mention dyslexia, but don't actually mandate screening, or they leave it vague enough that districts can pretty much ignore it. And even in states with strong laws, implementation varies dramatically from district to district. Some schools are doing this beautifully. Others are going through the motions, screening kids but not actually following up with interventions or clear communication with parents. The screening tools schools typically use include Dibbles, a Cadence Reading, and PALS. These are generally solid tools when used correctly, but some schools are using very basic assessments that miss kids or they're screening without acting on the results. So what do you actually do with all of this information? If your state has a screening mandate, your child should be screened automatically. But here's what you need to do, right? You need to ask your school what screener they're using and when it'll happen. Ask how you receive results. And here's the most important question. What interventions are provided if your child screens at risk? As always, document everything. When you get screening results, put them in your data collection binder. These results can be powerful evidence if you later need a comprehensive evaluation. If your child wasn't screened or you're in a state without a mandate, you can request it. Here's something crucial. If the screening shows your child is at risk, that should trigger immediate intervention, Tier 2 support with targeted reading help in small groups. Your child doesn't need to wait for a full evaluation to start getting help. But, and this is important, if your child continues to struggle despite intervention, or if the screening results are significant, you can and should request a comprehensive evaluation. The screening doesn't replace evaluation, and schools can't use it to deny your evaluation request. I know navigating all of this can feel really overwhelming, which is exactly why I created my Together Through Dyslexia mentorship program. It's a chance for us to work together one-on-one. I help you understand your screening results, figure out what questions to ask your school, and support you through the advocacy process. You can find out more about it at literacyuntangled.com/together-through-dyslexia. Sometimes just having someone in your corner who's been doing this work for years can make all the difference in the world. One more thing. If you have an older child with dyslexia, mention this when your younger children are screened. Family history is one of the strongest risk factors. If one parent or sibling has dyslexia, there's a 40 to 60% chance that other children in the family will struggle too. The screening revolution is here, and it has the potential to change everything for struggling readers. No more years of wait and see. No more parents becoming special education experts just to get basic help. But laws alone don't change outcomes. Informed parents do. So know your requirements. Ask the right questions. And remember, you don't have to navigate this alone. If you have any questions about dyslexia screening or want to share your experience, sneak into my inbox. I would love to hear what's working or not working in your state. Until next time, bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literacy Untangled. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you want to continue the conversation or share your takeaways, head on over to our Instagram at Literacy Untangled and comment on your favorite part. I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Bye.